when you think about Leonardo, you're thinking of his Mona Lisa, his most famous painting. You'll see that in the Louvre. Here we have visually sort of the quintessence of the Renaissance. Stable, squat. Her hands are there to give a base. She's a triangle. She's even tilted back a little bit so she doesn't wobble. She is a model of composure. She's subtle. And you've got this mysterious background. You've got this background. Leonardo didn't want to be so simplistic to have a tree-lined road going to a vanishing point. Leonardo took it one step further in the way he showed depth. He wanted to show depth. He wanted to be this realism. He did it by analyzing what happens to color as it gets farther away from your eye. It sort of mellows out as it gets further. You know, when you look at a zoom lens kind of painting or a zoom lens shot, you can see the color changes. It's muted in the distance. Leonardo's dreamy landscapes show depth that way in a classic sort of Leonardo trick. Leonardo was very cerebral about his art. Everything was organized. I mean, here we have a painting by Leonardo, and he would have had it all figured out this way. When we look at it, we don't see that, but you can see the circle created by the semicircular top. If you dropped it down, it would fit in the box of the rest of the painting perfectly. If you look at everybody's gaze, everybody in that painting is looking at the same point, underlined by a finger. So that gives a cohesiveness there. And when you look at that painting, you're oblivious to it. But the point is, the Renaissance master knew about that, he intended that, and he made it happen. Here we have another Madonna and Child. We see that pyramid. We see the symmetry, 2 columns on both sides, always symmetrical, and we see Leonardo's dreamy landscape. Leonardo did the Last Supper. Now, when a genius like Leonardo is hired to do the Last Supper, he doesn't just do the Last Supper. It's not just 12 guys having dinner with Jesus. It is some sort of agenda for the patron. What do you want to show? And the man who paid for this wanted to show the exciting moment when Jesus said, "One of you will betray me." And everybody got excited and said, "Lord, is it I?" It's that "Lord, is it I" moment that Leonardo was capturing here. When you know that as the visitor, then you look at this differently, and you can see the energy and the excitement and the mastery of realism that Leonardo gets across.